Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, is a video I've been looking forward to for over a week now. We got B-Souls, the 2020 NBA Award Show, NBA YouTube edition. So yeah, roughly a week ago, B-Souls came up with this idea where he was going to go around and ask, NBA YouTubers to vote on player awards. And yes, I was able to vote on that. As we go through this video, I'm going to give you guys, a little insight on who I voted for, I think, because I got a really bad memory, guys. There's a good chance I might actually forget because there was a lot of close races, when it came to some of these awards this year. But before we get going on today's video, guys, I'm going to need you guys all to go to B-Souls channel right now. Hit that subscribe button, go to this video and like it, guys, because of course, man, by you showing that support on his channel, he's going to want to do this again. I think it's a really, really cool idea and a way to bring, the NBA community together in a different way. So yeah, really shout out to B-Souls for doing this because I can't believe this is something that has not existed yet. So yeah, let's go ahead. Also, just for this special occasion, because it's an award show, man, I got my Dundee right here, guys, from The Office, big Office fans. So yes, it's probably not going to make it to the video again. Let's get it, man.
The 2016-2017 NBA season marked the first year that the NBA started doing the NBA Award Show.
Also, I do believe on B-Souls' Twitter account, he is going to be releasing like the actual voting. I think it was like 23 YouTubers that did it or something like that. He's going to be releasing like who everybody voted for. So if I do make a mistake, if I forget who I vote for, when not mine, you can go, fact check and stuff like that.
Show.
But I think
a
I
whole
remember.
show dedicated to presenting the awards given out every single year.
Mainly most improved player.
And while it's cool that we all see our favorite players in one room and that they get honored in an award style format, to be quite blunt, a lot of NBA fans don't care. Because who cares what happened in the regular season when we just witnessed 2 to 3 months of playoff basketball and just crowned an NBA champion and a finals MVP.
Exactly.
And especially this year, the regular season ended 60 games in and was put on hiatus for nearly 5 months. And then the playoffs will take up another 2 months. So let's just keep it a buck. No one's going to care about the awards that are supposed to represent the NBA from October 2019 to March 2020.
It should be done after, right after the regular season.
When they do the award show in October. So today, as a community on this platform, let's go ahead and honor the play from this past regular season, and let's do this award show before the playoffs start when no one will care about these awards. The winners of the awards that will be announced in this video come from a panel of 23 NBA YouTubers who took place in a voting poll, and the awards will also be presented by some of your favorite creators on this platform as well. Links to their channels will be in the description, and thank you to every single one who voted, and especially to the crew who participated in presenting. But without further ado, let's get started with Rookie of the Year.
All right,
man. Yo, Click, let's get it, man.
Thing, right? Every single year we love around the late June time. Oh wait, what? It's in October this.
Okay, I think maybe I should say before it's announced who I voted for. Okay, I'm gonna wait till the candidates are announced. There we go.
Okay, great. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to a wall. You see the teams that pick players at number 1 that end up bust within their first 14 games of their career, or the people that end up greatest players of all time that were picked 15th in the same draft. We love it and we all live for it, regardless if your team is trash like mine or really, really good like a bandwagon fan. Do we even shame bandwagon fans anymore? Or is that just a norm? Well, at the end of the day,
well, no, you can shame bandwagon fans, but you can't shame people that stick with their team that are trash. Because some people be like, yo, a Pistons fan? Like, imagine being a Pistons fan. I'm sorry, I'm loyal to my franchise.
Rookie of the Year race comes down to 2 main guys, right? The big 6'6" behemoth from New Orleans, or the jaw guy on Memphis.
Yep. Okay, guys. So my vote here, I'm like 95% sure that I went with Ja Morant, just because I love Zion. People are saying I'm a Zion hater. I'm definitely not. I love Zion. He's so much fun to watch. But what Ja Morant did to the Memphis Grizzlies this year, as far as like getting them into the playoff race, I mean, they're going to Orlando because of this kid right here, man. And while Zion did put up beastly numbers, it was in a smaller sample size. I just cannot award a guy that award for that smaller sample size in this case. If they were more veterans and we kind of like knew what they did in the past and kind of who they were all about, maybe, but sure, still probably not. I went with Ja Morant on this one. I'm 95% sure, although the poll might say I went with Zion, and then I'm just going to the doctor, guys. I gotta get this freaking noggin checked out.
Who likes to either dunk on people or attempt to dunk on people? Either way, they're gonna make their way to the House of Highlights.
Who actually wins
this award? Wait, it's not Bol Bol. All right, sadly, all jokes aside, it's Ja Morant.
Congratulations to Ja Morant. for winning Rookie of the Year as his first year in the league. He lit up the NBA averaging 18 points, 7 assists and 4 rebounds a game on some really good shooting splits, regardless of if he's a rookie or not. And also regardless of how the bubble games play out, Ja Morant has led the Memphis Grizzlies this year to be in the running for a playoff spot in the extremely tough Western Conference alongside Jaren Jackson and the solid crew that they have over there. Out of all the rookies, he has the most total points.
Look at those ups, man. My God.
Also leads them in averages, except for points where he's second to Zion Williamson. Shout out to Ja Morant, and hopefully he and this rookie class can only go up from here.
The race for the Most Improved Player of the Year award really has not been close at all over the past few seasons. Pascal Siakam got it last year pretty easily. Victor Oladipo was a runaway the year before. But this year there were a lot of good candidates, specifically two who made some big strides in their games, those two being Brandon Ingram and Bam Adebayo.
Okay, so when it comes to Most Improved Player, this is the one where it's like, I don't remember who I voted for, guys, because it's that close to me when it comes to Ingram and Bam. I think I did go with Ingram, but I was like, Bam too was, Bam very well could win it. But I think the reason I'm with Brandon Ingram, if I did, is just because I really respected just like what he did going to the Pelicans. And when he went to that team, he, of course, it was getting to the point where Ingram was kind of building up a bit like some haters out there, people saying that he just wasn't going to be like that good. And then he went to a new situation, literally put the team on his back, especially the Zion being out, and just did some really good things. I mean, I love everything about his game, and he just showed a confidence that, to me, show not only improvement from a basketball standpoint, but also a mental standpoint.
Both of these guys found a lot of opportunity this year. Bam became a starter, and Brandon Ingram became the #1 scoring option on a young Pelicans team. So it came down to these two players, but who won it in the end? Well, I found an envelope back from the Stone Age, and oh, would you look at that? Bam Adebayo. So congrats to Bam Adebayo for winning NBA YouTube's Most Improved Player award.
As the award would allude to, Bam Adebayo had an amazing improvement in his play this
both
year.
ways.
In the 2019 season, Bam was putting up 9 points and 7 rebounds a game off the bench for the Miami Heat. But in his first season as a starter, the 22-year-old big man has taken a leap into averaging 16 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal and a block a game on 57% shooting from the field. Not only has he transformed into a very versatile big on the offensive end through his scoring and passing abilities, but defensively he is now recognized as one of the best defenders in the league, being an extremely versatile 6'9" defender who's quick on his feet and can guard multiple positions. He's been a very important piece in a really good Miami Heat team and made the All-Star team this year, again in his first year as a starter.
Sixth Man of the Year. The dude that comes off the bench to provide a spark. The dude that's forgotten by casuals. Unless you're Lou Will. NANI? Yeah, he's different. But with that being said, the sixth man is so crucial for a team's success and
this guy, oh man, I know this channel because I've never seen this guy's face cam before. The voice sounds familiar. Is this, man, I forgot him, man. I'm sorry, I apologize. Like, I know the voice.
There is one player that fulfilled that role the best this season. So the sixth man of the year for the 2019.
Okay, I did vote for Derrick Rose, guys. The reason I did vote for Derrick Rose is just because I do feel like he had one of his best seasons. And, it definitely was a bit of a biased vote on my behalf. I do think there's a lot of players in this case that could have made it. I don't see why Derrick Rose couldn't get it. But the thing about Derrick Rose in this case is that he did put up good numbers. But once again, longevity, which I kind of used against Zion. So, a little flippy-floppy, wishy-washy on my behalf. But when it comes to, like D-Rose and stuff, I don't know, man. I love his story. I love his story. People wanted him in the All-Star game. He didn't get voted in. But at the end of the day, his play out there did not really lead to wins for the Detroit Pistons. Yes, he hit like a game winner or a big shot here and there, but didn't really lead to much more. So I will be surprised if I will be surprised if he does win it right here. I don't think he will, but it's who I voted for just because I respect everything he did out there this season.
2020 season is
Dennis Schroeder. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder this year has been fantastic for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Absolutely zero argument.
The Thunder lost Westbrook and Paul George in the offseason, it was up for this new cast to step up, and the Oklahoma City Thunder this season have been led by the impressive three-guard trio of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
which is crazy to think about,
and Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. Dennis Schroeder specifically has averaged 19 points and 4 assists off the bench, shooting 47% from the field,
playing with two other point guards
from 3 and 84% from the line, which are some of the best splits in Schroeder's career. And while yes, players like Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell have been great off the bench as well, given the context of OKC's situation,
and even when it comes to Lou Williams and Montrezl, it's like it's the sixth man of the year award. So which one's the sixth man? Because if one's the sixth, the other one's got to be the seventh. So nobody really made that clarification. So it's like you can't vote for either.
And how much they've been overachieving and how big of a part Dennis Schroeder has been in them overachieving, he rightfully deserves this award.
In a league where offense is supreme, winning, sometimes defense is forgotten.
Let's get it, man.
Which is a shame because one of the more consistent traits to a great team is a great defensive unit. And the player that anchors that great defensive unit should be acknowledged a bit more often. Luckily, we do have an award for said acknowledgement, and that is Defensive Player of the Year. Now, defense is a bit tricky to assess, especially because the defensive impact that a player may have for his team may not show up in a stat sheet. And in today's league, it becomes even more difficult with the requirement for great defensive players being drastically different from what we've seen throughout NBA history. However, we still have great traditional rim protecting big men such as Rudy Gobert, who's won Defensive Player of the Year for back-to-back seasons, as he has anchored one of the more consistently great defensive units down in Utah. Also, we have Anthony Davis, who's similar to Rudy Gobert, can protect the paint, but also has a versatility to come out on the perimeter and has surprised a lot of people as he's been leading.
I'm like 90% sure that I voted for Anthony Davis because I remember watching a Piston game and he literally, well, I mean, the entire damn team, you know, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Dwight, I mean, AD, they were all throwing shots back left and right, man. But Anthony Davis blocked like 5 guys in a row. I was like, okay, yeah, he's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Which, another thing you got to think about, too, is last year, you know, people were saying like LeBron was like sleeping on defense and stuff. So the fact that AD was able to come into this team and just like anchor that spot down, you know, not just from an offensive standpoint, but from a defensive standpoint, I think is really important to the Lakers' success, too. It's like, when I think of AD, you can't really just think of him as just like this offensive gifted monster out there, because defensively, he's right up there too.
A very good defensive unit in LA. And then you have Kawhi Leonard, who has been an amazing perimeter defender throughout his time in the league. And many people would make the argument in today's league, having someone with that type of impact on the perimeter is much more essential than a traditional rim protecting big. Nevertheless, though, me and my peers got together and we have voted on who should win Defensive Player of the Year award this season.
Got the envelope. Golden ticket.
An envelope. And the winner is the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Which honestly shouldn't be that much of a surprise to anyone. Not at all. Because Giannis...
Did I vote for Giannis? I can't wait to check out B-Soul's, charts. So it's going to be a surprise to me who I voted for, guys. I don't think I voted for Giannis, though. But I think about it now, I'm like, okay, well... Yeah, I can see where I would have.
Is the perfect defensive player that every team desires in today's league.
He always wins in 2K.
Let me go to B-Soul so he can tell you how impactful Giannis has been on the defensive end this year.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, the past couple of years, has transformed into a very good defender. And the last 2 years specifically, has been making a case for the best defender in the league.
Damn golf ball,
and the panel has deemed him worthy of Defensive Player of the Year this year. Giannis's 1 block and 1 steal a game definitely don't do his defensive impact justice. But you know what does? The 14 rebounds a game does. Being the league leader in defensive box plus minus, defensive win shares, and defensive rating does. Leading the Bucks to the #1 defense in the league by a wide margin does. And simply just by watching him play, his ability to truly, and I mean truly, guard 1 through 5 due to his size, agility, and great defensive awareness also does him justice. All of these factors combined is why Giannis is this year's Defensive Player of the Year.
Behind every, it's gonna be kind of funny if the voting comes out and all 22 other YouTubers voted for the same player, and I was the only one that voted wrong.
Elite team is a
and we
great
got Mojo
coach lurking in the scene, hashing out every potential issue and putting each player in the best position as possible to win. This season's top candidates were former coaches of the year Mike Budenholzer, Doc Rivers, Nick Nurse, and Frank Vogel. I, Mojo99, gladly present to you the NBA YouTube community.
Okay, so there was 6 candidates in this case that were on the voting ballot. The guy that I believe I voted for was not listed here. And I didn't think he was going to be listed, but this was more so just like my mindset. I believe I voted for Erik Spoelstra, and the reason is just because for the Miami Heat this year, the fact that in this case, they are going to have a most improved player candidate. They are a team that did a lot better than I think people thought they were going to do. But not only that, Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, these guys coming out of nowhere, even Derrick Jones Jr., a more improved player. While, you know, you got to give credit to the players on really bettering themselves and just being great players out there and work ethic and everything, I do think a lot of it comes down to coaching too. I just feel like the Miami Heat had a lot of like diamond in the roughs, just kind of like guys out of nowhere that nobody's really expecting. And I give a lot of credit to Erik Spoelstra for that.
Community's 2020 Coach of the Year, Nick Nurse. The Toronto Raptors this past season could have easily seen major regression and just be hella stagnant with the growth. But instead, guys like Pascal Siakam, Thick Boy Kyle Lowry, and Nick Nurse and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Nick Nurse.
Gas and no brakes.
A lot of players like Terrence Davis that he really helped coach up.
To evaluate. That was kind of cold. I got bars.
After the Toronto Raptors lost Kawhi Leonard in the offseason, you know, the reigning finals MVP and the guy that led them to the championship in dominant fashion last year, left, it was looking worrisome in Toronto. They didn't go into full rebuild mode, so they came into the season with a 33-year-old Kyle Lowry, a 35-year-old Marc Gasol, and Pascal Siakam and Fred.
Hey, Marc Gasol's 35.
Before that, going into this year looked suspect, but at the very least was expected to not nearly be as good as they were last year. And while not having a superstar has still changed the expectations for this team, their play in the regular season, on the other hand, has far exceeded everyone's expectations, as prior to the NBA's hiatus, the Raptors finished with a 46-18 record, a record on pace to win 59 games, right around the same number of wins they had last year with Kawhi on the team. And while the players' individual development has played a huge part in that not all the credit does go to Nick Nurse, Nick Nurse's defensive schemes and the defensive culture that he built in Toronto has allowed the Raptors to play phenomenal basketball this year, despite losing the most crucial part of their championship team. The most prestigious regular season award every single year is the most valuable player, an award to signify the player that stood out the most in the regular season.
I think I voted for Giannis, because Giannis is literally on pace to be having like one of the greatest seasons of all time. And he's Giannis. And there's just nobody else that should be voted for in this case. But we'll see what happens. I've been surprised already, so we'll see if we get surprised again.
Made to signify the player
for the MVP
stood above the rest. It takes a very special individual and a very special season,
by the way, guys,
to get this award. And this year, the MVP goes to, got my piece of paper right here. Y'all probably saw it already.
Giannis, yes. Fair enough.
And there you have it.
Should have been a
this
sweep.
Year's most valuable player, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It could very well play out the same way in the real award show, but at least on this one, Giannis becomes just the third player in NBA history to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. Giannis Antetokounmpo has led the Milwaukee Bucks to the best record in the league.
How this correlates to the real award show.
67 games and has led the Bucks to the best defense in the league.
This is the real one.
While averaging 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists on 55% shooting from the field, and a massive improvement for his standards of 31% from 3 on 5 threes a game. All while, as we mentioned earlier, playing Defensive Player of the Year caliber defense. Combine that with the fact that he fits every single precedence of this award, it's not surprising that Giannis Antetokounmpo won MVP and will most likely win it in the real awards as
Probably
well.
Like 10 straight.
Shout out to Giannis for having one of the most dominant regular seasons in NBA history. Once again, shout out to all the YouTubers who voted for these awards, and a big shout out to Nick's Click, Rusty Buckets, Legend of Winning, Mojo99, and MJ2K.
I knew it was MJ2K. Okay, I knew it.
I know a lot of the people I hit up and a lot of the people that participated in presenting the awards are very busy, so I appreciate you guys for taking time out of your busy week and busy day to participate in this video. This is probably,
hey, you know what, B-Souls, we appreciate you, putting this together, taking the time, all the editing, and do all this. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. Let's see what more he's got to say here.
The most ambitious collab in the NBA YouTube community, and I know it's hard and rare for us to all come together. Hopefully we can make this an annual thing, and you know what will help in doing that? For you, the viewers, to drop a like on this
video. There you go, guys. Go do it, man. If you haven't done it yet.
Creators, including myself, because I organized it, and But let's blow this video up. Here's a final look at all the winners this year. I'll give y'all a couple seconds to take your screenshots.
This is the TLDR right here, guys.
Watch these 2 videos if you haven't already.
All right, man, that's the end of the awards show right there. Very good stuff. Had a lot of fun with this, man. This is a lot of fun to watch everything. Hopefully this does become a yearly thing. Like I said, guys, B-Souls, go check out his channel, man. B-Souls, shout out to you, man, for making this. It was absolutely awesome. And peace out, my friends.